Hey everyone. Welcome to Uncle D's Basketball Life. Hey everybody. Welcome back to Uncle D's Basketball Life. My special guest today is assistant coach Tennessee Benson. We call T.O. What's up, T.O.?
How's it going? It's good to be back.
Man, I'm glad you're back, man. We doing things big around here. Rob got us on video this year.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we didn't have it last year, so it's nice to be live on video.
Yeah, you know, everybody can see big sexy face now.
Come on, man.
Hey, man. Quick question for you. Just tell everybody where you was born and where you grew up at.
The second part of that question is I might need to take a couple minutes, but I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I claim Las Cruces, New Mexico. I lived there the longest in my life, and those were kind of my formative years. But I think I'm up to 15 or 20 different places lived all over the world, and Kuwait, Venezuela, China, North Dakota, North Carolina. Spent some time in Arizona, did Chicago, Colorado. I'm trying to think of some other spots. I lived in Texarkana, I lived in Alabama, I lived in Lubbock. Spent some time in obviously Utah now, and I did a couple different stints in New Mexico. So definitely a vagabond for sure, and it's all because of this sport. And I wouldn't change it for anybody else's journey. It's been a great experience getting to see the world at such a young age, and getting to see different experiences and or different cultures and how people go about their lives, and so yeah, super blessed though.
So out of those places, give me your top three that was the best for you. You feel like the best out. Give me your top three out of those places.
I was 22 years old, living in the Middle East in a high-rise apartment paid for by the club I was working for, and so that was really cool. Like I was just living in a 3-bedroom high-rise apartment that was probably $4,000 or $5,000 a month for free. So that one always sticks out just because I was starting to grow up and turning, from a college graduate into a man. And so I got to see the world at 22, and I lived overseas when I was a child, but you only remember so much. And so I was really on my own out there. I was working for my dad. So that was one. And then New Mexico will always be home, and so that's going to be my favorite. But I don't necessarily count that because I've been asked this question before, and believe it or not, I love living in Utah. And it's not just because I'm on this podcast, but the people here are so friendly. It's clean, it's safe, it's close to Las Vegas, which is a good city to visit or fly out of. It's close enough to home, and I live alone in a nice place. And now when I working and being able to support myself financially, it's just a different outlook. But I really love living here. This has been a great place to be in my mid-20s. So believe it or not, I would put Utah at 3.
Okay.
So I really like it here.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So tell everyone what your dad does now, and then how it was growing up for you, being the son of a famous, basketball coach. I mean, he's pretty well known.
Yeah.
Overseas and in the States. So, talk about what he's doing now.
Okay.
And then talk about how was it for you growing up with him as a coach.
Yeah. So right now he works in the front office for the Utah Jazz. He's a scout. I think he handles a lot of the college stuff. I think he does a little bit of everything. I don't even know what his official title is at this point.
Right.
But he does. Last year he did a lot of the college stuff, so he spent time in college gyms and watching games and identifying talent. And then now this spring, since he transitioned to what I think is a more prominent role, he handles a lot of FIBA stuff, and he does some high school stuff now, grassroots. And he was in the Final Four. He was at the Final Four in Abu Dhabi for the EuroLeague, and I think he'll do NBA stuff and college. So I think he's going to be all over. I think he's about to be gone for close to 2 weeks and going to different places for preseason. And so his job is to identify talent and all sorts of all over the levels. And of the sport. And growing up like that, it was really cool because I got to see how these players operated and how these coaches operate. I got to see it at a really young age on how these people work, both as players and coaches. So I think it instilled a lot of really good values in me for when I eventually became a coach. But those guys were like my idols. You know, I was really blessed to be around these minor league players and semi-pro. You know, they're still pros, but they worked in back then it was called the D League. Now it's the G League. And these guys are making $30,000, and I thought they were I would have looked up to them just like I looked up to LeBron James. So like some of these players were my idols, and I got to be around it. And I was the little annoying kid, coach's son, running around the gym. When the team was on the far end, I was shooting on the other end, and I'd have to, holding the ball when the coach is talking, all that type of stuff. So super, super cool experience getting to just grow up in a gym, growing up in a locker room. And now when I go around, and now that I've become a coach and I've been around the country, the people that know my dad, they're always surprised. They're like, no way, that's you. This is the little kid that was running around in the locker rooms and bothering the players and coaches. Like, I cannot believe you're as big as you are now and as old as you are. So, and as I've been sent on the road recruiting now by you, everyone sees me and they're like, it's just crazy. So, but very cool experience. Just especially, I'm super grateful he did it the way he did it. He doesn't come from coaching. Right. His parents were lifelong educators, higher education. And so he created his own career. And so I've been blessed to now have come from coaching. And so he worked his way up. He grinded from the CBA, which is no longer a league, and then to the D League, and then NBA spots. And then when he started getting jobs overseas, he did that. So completely different type of career than a lot of people in this business.
He carved his own way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So tell me how you feel about this year's team compared to last year. Like, what's the difference for you in this year's team and last year's team?
So, I mean, if we're just talking like Jimmy's and Joe's, like, it's talented. It's a more talented group. It's deeper, very savvy offensively and skilled, and the shot making stands out. And just we're too deep at every position, and sometimes three. But I think the thing that stands out, and it's not to say that it wasn't there with the other groups that since we've been here, but this group really cares about each other. Yeah, they really like being around each other. I mean, they go to weights at 2, and then at 3 p.m. they go to the CAF and sit there for 2 hours and play Clash Royale, and which is a very popular game for those out there watching. And then they just sit there and eat for 2 hours and play and watch each other play Clash Royale. So, and we got guys in a bowling league together. Right. Tuesday they go to the movies. Wednesday they're in the bowling league, and then throughout the week they're practicing bowling. And so it's very prominent and evident that they like each other. And I think it's so important. And because I was on teams that won 27, 28 games a year at New Mexico State, and we really enjoyed being around each other. So we celebrate each other's success, and I think that is a really, really important value to have on a team. And I think, sometimes it's the most important thing, because when times get tough, when you're not making shots during games, like, these guys are lifting each other up. So yeah. I think that's the biggest thing, outside of obviously it's just a more talented group.
Yeah. I think this is the best team we've had since we've been here.
Without a doubt.
The most definitely deepest team we've been here.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I think last year's team was a little bit better at this point was, I think they were a little more physical.
Yeah, they were.
And probably defended a little better.
Yeah.
At the same stage. But once this group figures that out, then I believe the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
For this group.
Yep.
And just us putting them in the right places. You know, I think so far Coach Jeter's done a great job, and us as a staff of attempting to put these guys in the right space.
For sure.
And it'll be exciting, because next week we'll get to
finally play against someone else.
We'll get to play against somebody else, and I think they need that. We got Weber State in a scrimmage on October 18th, so I'm excited for that.
I think another thing, when Coach has always talked about it, and going back to his best teams at Milwaukee and his 2 best teams at Western Illinois, his teams tend to get better over time defensively, and then they tend to kind of settle in offensively. I think he's He's maybe a little spoiled right now offensively with just the level of shot making. Like, I like to look at coach's reaction when Dylan Jones shoots a 28-footer, and he's just like, and he doesn't even react anymore. But I think he's had to get used to like just the level of shot making with him, because he just takes some of the shots that you were like, oh, okay, all right. But then I do think that this is a team that will get better defensively as we continue to, chisel away at it. But it just reminds me of some of the really high octane offenses that I've seen that just get better. And I think that one way or another, they're going to realize we have to stop the other team from scoring. And they have gotten better since June 1st when they arrived. So, but I do agree with Coach. Like, we're going to get better defensively. It's not like we're garbage. We just, the effort's there, but the physicality compared to last year's group is definitely evident. But on the flip side of the coin, we're so much further ahead offensively than last year's group. So
absolutely, not even close.
Yeah.
And then we got some great games. Our schedule. I look back at the schedule now and I'll be like, man, what was I thinking? But we
did it for a reason, though.
Yeah, there was a reason.
Some of these players had to get here because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But as you look at the schedule, other than conference, right? Everybody, we want to kill it in conference.
Yeah.
But what games are you kind of looking forward to in the non-conference?
I thought, I don't know what infatuation you have with the Pacific Northwest, but we have, I think, 6 games up there. We play Oregon State, Washington State, Washington. So Gonzaga,
Washington State.
Yeah, so we have 4 games in a 60-mile radius. But I think Gonzaga will be really cool. I've heard just unreal things about the Dog Pound. I think that's what they call it, and it's a small arena because it's just that the WCC. But I think that'll be really cool just because of the history and the lineage of that program and what Mark Few has done. And Arizona State is cool. They call it Guard U, and I've never been to that arena. So I think for me, besides the challenge and opportunity to scout really good coaches, it's the arenas that you get to go to. Like, last year we went to Loyola Chicago and we went to the Pavilion at UCLA, which is really cool. So I love going to these arenas. They're so cool. And then, but like on the, really what I'm excited about is it's just a new batch of coaches that I get to scout and take away things that I think that they do well, and get to scout Washington again. So they're going to run 1 million sets and I got to scout each one of them. And, but he does a really good job there, Coach Sprinkle. So that's the most exciting thing about it. It's what pops out. Obviously the guarantee games are fun. And then I've not been to Pittsburgh yet. We get to go play Robert Morris, and so that'll be fun. And I haven't been to Omaha. We beat them last year, so they'll have that game circled. So it's a fun slate, and there's a lot of opportunities for us to have some success.
Well, I have not been to Gonzaga.
No.
And I have not been to Oregon State.
Have you been to Washington State?
I've been to Washington State. Actually, we won at Washington State.
I haven't been there either.
When I was at San Jose State.
Yeah.
But won at Washington State. So I haven't been to Oregon State or Gonzaga. Been to Arizona State.
Okay.
Played at Washington. And
I haven't been there either. I heard that place is cool though.
It's cool. It's pretty cool. And then we play, and then so the two I'm looking forward to kind of is Gonzaga and Oregon State, which Gonzaga will be my scout. Oh Jesus.
That one's yours?
Yeah.
lot of ball screens.
But we'll come up with a plan.
Yeah, we will.
But so I'm excited about those, and it's crazy you say something, because when I was at San Jose State, so I didn't realize Idaho and Washington State is literally like 10 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, it's basically the same city.
In Pullman.
Yeah, Pullman and Moscow.
So when I had Jaden on here, I told Jaden, I said, man, when we get to Pullman, I got to try to convince Coach to go stop at Wingers. If it's still a Wingers there. He started laughing. He go, well, Coach, if you just go to Wingers by yourself, I'll go with you. So it's crazy the things you do remember. But I've never been to Pittsburgh either. So Robert Morris would be cool. And like I said, Gonzaga and definitely Oregon State, because I heard Oregon State is a college town.
It is, yeah, it's a cool arena from what the pictures I've seen.
And then I just wish Parcell was still there.
Me too. Well, for the sake of not having to guard him, that's what I'm excited about, because he's so damn talented. But
yeah,
I'm so happy for Parcell, man.
He's down in Oklahoma State doing it big now.
Yeah.
So.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Both basketball and bank account. Still haven't received a check from him, though, to give back to the amount of minutes we played him. So
I need to call Parson and be like, hey, man, you need to give a donation over here. So
just give us a little bit, something. Yeah.
So, I'm excited for like the Parcels of the world that we had, and Dom went to San Diego, and Jameer's UTSA.
Yep.
And even Brock.
Yeah.
Went to Seattle.
Prophet Johnson.
I mean, Prophet is at Sac State right now. Yeah. So we've had guys here that I believe have benefited from our coaches and have moved on. And so I think it's pretty cool. Tell me how you like going out recruiting now.
When I was not doing it, I was like, why do people love it so much? And I get it now. I mean, I'll be honest and say, like, there's a lot of facets of this game of coaching that I would say I really like more. Like, I love working out the players. I love player development. I like being in town, because you don't miss things, and you get to see these players get better. And when you're recruiting, you're gone 3-4 days at a time, and you miss practices, but it's important because that's how you get these players. But I love the player development. I love the scouting and the coaching and coming up with new ideas, and I love chilling in the office with this staff, because it's really fun and it's a good environment. But the recruiting is fun. It's like this is how eventually it's a big part of how you get other jobs. Like, when it's how you move on. You get to sit next to these coaches. I mean, in the summer I was sitting between Matt Painter, Tom Izzo, Dusty May, Chris Beard. I mean, and those are coaches that are 20, 30 years older than me, that at one point sat in the same chair that I sat in the same role. Yeah. These guys, and some of these guys are JUCO guys. And, I got to sit with Coach Jans, who I played for, and I got to see what he's like when you're not playing for him, and it's a lot more fun. So, but it's really cool getting to see these players, because now when we talk about them in the office, like my first year, I hadn't been able to really provide insight outside of the film that you have me watch. So now I've been able to say I've seen these guys in person, and it feels good knowing that, like, when we offer players based on my evaluation, that I'm making an impact outside of what I do here on campus. And
absolutely.
And it's important, because, like, a lot of people don't know, like, you wouldn't know this unless you're here, but Coach Williams, you've invested in me recruiting wise. And that's what I do appreciate, because and then they've changed a lot of the rules where more people can go out, but it still costs money. So you don't have to send anybody out if you don't want. And you wouldn't send anyone out that you didn't trust, because obviously you're kind of the headmaster here when it comes to the obtaining players and recruiting. So, but that's been the best part, is just being able to provide insight and bring something to the table when we talk recruiting about building a roster. And then also, like I said, you just get to meet so many coaches, and it's really cool to see all these coaches, and I learn how they evaluate and differences. So it's been really cool to form my own model on how I evaluate talent.
Yeah, it's recruiting is a big part of what we do, right?
It is.
I mean, because it determines wins and losses
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, and so I had somebody who took me under their wings and showed me how to be a recruiter, and I've always had a mouthpiece, so that I've always been able to talk to people. But he showed me the in and outs, and so. I want to make sure you get that, because I think that's important. Part of coaching for you to have that, because it makes you more marketable when you can recruit. But it becomes, a lot of people tease me, like CJ at Northridge. You'd be like, man, I heard you don't never get hotels. You always staying with family. Well, for me, if I can stay with family, and save a little bit on the budget.
I appreciate that as someone who runs the budget. It's nice,
I'm good with that, man. Like, I'm being Salt Lake, I'm gonna be at my cousins. I got my own room here, so his wife is a chef. So I mean, hey, I got it good. So
you get to keep that per diem. The per diem stays in your pocket rather than going to a little fast food spot. So no, I do appreciate that as someone who puts the numbers in the budget.
The recruiting, it gets hard at times, because everybody wants you at their stuff. and we just can't go to everybody's stuff.
No, it costs money.
Julius V wants you at his stuff, and Tim Davis wants you at his stuff.
Yeah.
Jerry Freitas wants you at his stuff, and like Scott Golden wants us at his stuff. It's just so you just can't please everybody.
No, you can't
in this game when it comes to recruiting. And so I think just over the years, I think something I've done a pretty good job of is just building ties. Because no matter what, you still got to have ties, even in this NIL world.
Yeah.
Because just our budget can't compete with a lot of budgets. So you still got to have some ties. And so I think for me, one of the biggest things is just establishing relationships with people I trust that want to help us. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing in the whole recruiting part. Man, how many siblings do you have?
Little sister, she's 22. She lives with her boyfriend in Oklahoma City, and she's a kindergarten teacher. So she's doing the Lord's work for sure. Like she's an angel. That's not the easiest grade. It's not the easiest job, by the way. I mean, I'll be the first one to say they're underpaid and they're overworked, and there's a significant level of care that needs to be had to teach that grade. Not to teach in general, but to teach kindergarten. It's constant redirecting. It's we just had the kids here last week with the players, and one of the assistants was like, it's just like herding cats. You just got to give. And I was dying. I was like, that is. She's like, because cats don't listen, and so with these 3 and 4 year olds, you have to. It's just hurting them. It's just constant like, come here, over here, this way, and then the person who's monitoring this podcast, he knows everything about it as a father of 2 young boys, like, and you. Father of twins. And I mean, any parent really that had to go through that at one point. And luckily I haven't had to do that yet. So there's no little TOs running around. So
that we know of.
I'll just there's kidding. No TOs running around. I'll double down on that one. But that's that. My little sister is definitely a role model for sure. She's a warrior for the grade that she teaches, because it's not easy.
Yeah, teaching is a different deal. I taught in Vegas at a continuation school, and those kids don't get a fair shake because they got kicked out of school, or whatever the case may be. And so, and those high schoolers I had, so I got much love for anybody who teaches kindergarten and up.
It's hard.
So
it's not easy.
All right, man. Tell me, like, who are some of your mentors in the game that you feel like are considered mentors for you?
Yeah, Dad's obviously one. Because I think we've done a really good job of being able to separate the father-son aspect of it. Like, he's been saying it since I was as a kid. Like, he's not gonna lie to me.
Right.
He told me when I played not very well, and he told me when I played well.
Yeah.
He told me where he thought I could end up, and he told me where I thought what wasn't attainable. So I think him being a truth teller is what made it so easy for him to be a role model, because your parents are going to be, most of the time, are going to be a role model just by default. But this one is different because we do the same thing, and it's such a niche and unique business that it's important to have a truth teller as a mentor, because he's not going to lie to you. Like, he's been able to, or he's not going to sugarcoat anything. He'll tell me if he thinks I can get a certain job. He'll tell me if he thinks I can do a certain thing. Like, and he was right about this one when Coach Cheater hired me. He's like, I think you got a shot at this one. And, but then he's also been like, you're not gonna get that job. He's like, that coach ain't gonna answer you. So, and Chris Jans, who I played for, because he treated me like the guy who averaged 17 points a game, and I didn't really play that much.
Right.
And I got to learn. And he treated, what he did? He invested in me as a future coach. Like, I was an extension of the staff on the floor with during practice. And as a guy who doesn't play, you usually don't want to be the guy to speak during practice, because you haven't done it. But I think the way I went about my business and how hard I played and how I handled things and carried myself, the players listened to me, because I think a little bit was from my dad and realized that I knew the game and I cared. I think that's what Coach really appreciated, Coach Jans, is that I cared. I cared a lot about New Mexico State. I cared a lot about the program. And I just got to see how he worked. And he's a grinder. He came from junior college and was not a Division I player, and now he's coaching at Mississippi State, and whatever, top 20 highest paid coach, like whatever, but like he earned it. And then Coach Jeter, like he invested in me. I don't know if it was directly or indirectly, but I think he wants me here. He's promoted me, and he's giving me responsibilities, and he trusts me with a lot of things that go on in the game. So I think that he has wanted me to be better. He's helped me grow. And I think being on a smaller staff and him being a very delicate or a delegator, he likes to build his coaches.
Yeah, he do.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah.
Like, he may look 40, but he's 56. Like, so he's got a lot of things that are super rare for a coach. And that's the ability to pull back and give it to your assistants. And, so for sure, that's a role model of mine and a mentor, because he has done what a lot of people haven't done, and that's give me a shot and invest in me when I think I've proved it. I think that he's not naive. He's not dumb. Yeah, like Coach is very smart. He's not going to give people responsibilities that don't deserve it, because at the end of the day, you got to win games. And so those three for sure. And I have a lot of people that have invested in me, like you, Coach Williams, like with recruiting and using my opinion and my evaluation skills on recruits and that go into decision making. So there's a lot of people that have helped me and shaped me the way I am, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, Jeter is man. He's just, everybody always asks me, well, how is it to be under Coach Jeter? And I was like, man, he's not only a heck of a coach, but he's just a great man.
Yeah,
he's an unbelievable human being.
Yeah.
And so, and I've worked with coaches who wasn't.
And I have too. So yeah.
And so when you get it, it's so rare.
Yeah.
And I had it in my mentor, Coach Nessman, who's one of my mentors that I had at San Jose State. And I consider Coach as a mentor too. And he might not see it, but man, I watch him when he's, doing things with Jackson and JoJo and how he is with Lil Rob and JT. Like, as a father, man, that's big for me, that I can see somebody who cares so much about his family.
Yeah,
agreed. What I mean? But then, like you said, he gives you free reign to go do your thing.
Yeah.
Hey, go get some players down.
Yeah,
exactly. And so I appreciate that. And then he also asked my input for the defensive end. So it's, man, he's unbelievable to work for.
He's really easy.
And just hopefully we can do some big things this year.
And I think this is the group to do it, because Coach deserves it. He has.
Absolutely.
This is not, and I have no problem. This is not the easiest job in the country. There's 364 jobs in the world, in the United States. It's not the easiest one. Now, we have the ability to win here, but like Coach this is a challenge, and I like it, because it's, you got to work your way up to where every single year you're going to win 27 games.
We got to go, man.
So
we get to the NCAA tournament. It'll be the first time in 20 plus years.
Yeah. But Coach is the best. He's the best boss I've ever had, and that's saying something, because I worked for my dad. So, but yeah, easiest coach to work for. Just he, at the end of the day, it's all about getting your stuff done. And if you get it done, then he's not gonna he's not gonna be on you.
Respect it.
Yeah, he's gonna respect you. Just get your stuff done, do your job. Pretty simple.
Yeah. I know you work out the guards. How has that been for you with this group to work out?
Coach's dream, honestly. They show up. They have good energy. They have good enthusiasm. I was up at 6:30, 7:30 in the morning every day in the summer, Monday through Friday, working the guys out. And then now we go at 10 for about 40 minutes right before practice, as we start to taper it off a little bit before practice and before the season starts. But they're awesome, man. And it's really cool. For example, like Dylan. Dylan's not known as a guy who puts the ball on the floor, but he's, when a guy who shoots 90% of his shots that come from three, my outlook on it was like, well, let's try to use that and get him to put the ball in the basket, or put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. So for me, it was like, and he's done it. He improved his, he brought the percentage down from 3 and increased the percentage from 2 in terms of where his shots came from. And it's just really cool to see. And our players will tell you, like, I'm not super theatrical. There's no degree of difficulty pointage with player development. Like you should work on things that are going to get them better.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm simple with ball handling. I'm simple with finishing, ball screens, and shooting. And I think it's just like you got to do some stuff based, out of your own offense that what works.
Absolutely.
But I just think that with these players, like they're not everyone's going to play in the NBA, and those guys are the anomalies.
Yeah.
They're the aliens. Like you got to work on things that are going to help them become good players on where they're at right now. So you don't need to overthink it, and but you don't need to oversimplify it either.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but if you keep it simple enough and you work on things that are going to make them better, straight line drives, playing off 2 feet, playing off 2 or 3 dribbles, making open shots, moving without the ball, and then most importantly, being a good teammate. Yeah. Like we talk about that in workouts all the time, encouraging others. So, but it's been great, and this group embraced that, and they really honed it in, and but so they've been awesome. Like I really enjoy being around this group, especially because you're providing your time to them.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you want to provide extra time out of your day to invest in these players, then you want to be you want to be happy when you're around them, and that's what I am.
Yeah, they're definitely a fun group.
They are.
I mean, I got the 4s and 5s, and we have fun. Whether it's film or working out, and it's definitely a fun group.
Yeah.
And you can play with them, but you can also get real serious with them.
You can,
and they're good about that. All right, man. Who's your GOAT?
I mean, it's for me, it's Jordan. Okay. But like, it's not my like favorite player. My favorite player is Steve Nash. Okay. So like, that's the best player ever is Jordan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. It's Jordan. And that might be a little rare for a 26-year-old, but like, because if you ask Braden, he won't even say Jordan's name. Michael Jordan to Braden Lamar, our special assistant, is like Lord Voldemort.
We had.
He doesn't even say that guy's name.
Yeah, we had the conversation when he was on here for sure. He don't understand. He's still a pup. There's just certain things. Jordan 6-0. Jordan was 9-time defensive first team.
Yep.
I think LeBron was 5. LeBron 4 and 6, and
and
people. And so when I mess with him, but people would think like I'm a LeBron, and I love LeBron. I mean, he was an Oakland Soldier. I was an Oakland Soldier.
Yeah.
So I got mad love for what he's done as a basketball player, what he has done in his community back in Ohio, what he's done as a father, as a husband. So I think. Just as he's been a outstanding human being off the court. Yeah. So I got mad love for LeBron.
He has the best. He was part of the best finals in my opinion, which is the 2016 finals against Golden State. I mean, that was a team that went 73-9, and he was down 3-1 with. What everyone would talk about is, not a very good roster outside of Kyrie and Kevin Love, and which is funny because then those guys were superstars, but like he didn't have his role players were a little bit different than the ones at Golden State. So, I mean, you can't say anything bad about him.
No,
like the comparison is funny because they're not the same position.
Yeah, I think the other thing is you just. Jordan changed the game globally.
Yeah, he did.
He's the first one.
He's like a Tiger Woods.
He changed the game globally. So you got to go from Dr. J to Larry Bird, Magic.
Yeah.
And then Jordan comes in.
Yep.
And just he just changes it.
Yeah. So, but they're both. I mean, I think you could even make an argument for 1A, 1B if you really wanted to, but I think 1A is always Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, and some people go say 1B is Kobe.
Yeah. Some will. Some will.
You know what I mean?
Some will.
But it's pretty cool. So I got 2 more questions for you. We got to get out of here. But last year we went to play New Mexico State, man. How was that for you?
That was really cool. Getting to see so many familiar faces that are just rabid about New Mexico State basketball. Again, this because
as my conference.
Being in this area of the country, like that is a premier powerhouse mid-major with a lot of history. They've been to the Final Four. Yeah. Lou Henson, who's the only coach who he's got his name on 2 floors.
Yeah. And, here in Illinois.
Yeah, here in Illinois. So, but it was really cool. I got to see a lot of people that mean a lot to me. My parents got to see me coach, and which is really cool. And then, I got to see a lot of old friends. And we didn't win the game, but we played really well. And it's one of the hardest places to win at in the mid-majors or period in the country.
Yeah,
it's not an easy place. They don't lose there. And we played well. We almost won the game. And Tavy fell down. We needed to get a stop. And I think he got his foot stepped on, which sucked. But I'll remember that game forever because that was the first time I go back and they embraced me. They did the whole, they announced me as if I was a player, which was really cool. But yeah, that was a really fun game because, those are the golden years. Yeah. We dominated there.
Right.
We won at the level that no one had ever really won out there before. I mean, they'd been to the Sweet 16s and Final Fours, but the level of dominance we had and all the games we won, that I don't know if it'll be replicated again. Gotcha.
So, you on social media? What accounts do you use the most, where people can follow you a little bit?
What do I use them? I get all my basketball stuff from Twitter, so you can follow me on Tennessee Owens on Twitter. I don't want my Instagram out there. I just keep that a little more private. But I mean, it's like just search my name. That's the one bad thing about my name is that I'm so easily findable. Like when you search Tennessee Owens, I'm the first thing that comes up because my name's a state and my last name is a little bit more unique. And, I was a player, so I have a lot out there. So, but yeah, Twitter. I don't even tweet anymore. I tweeted in high school and college, but now I don't even tweet.
You got Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. You get older and you stop using things like that. Like you just stop using social media as much. I mean, I post on Instagram and stuff like that, but yeah,
Well, man, I appreciate you. Being on the podcast. I will say, man, it's been fun watching you grow over these last few years as a coach and recruiting now and getting into the recruiting game and taking over the budget and the job you've done with that.
Appreciate it.
So, man, I'm glad you was able to be on here. As always, I have to thank my producer, Rob. And I have to thank Ryan, our radio guy, for everything because again, this is not possible. Don't want to forget Gabe, who started this with me last year. Big shout out to him too.
Yeah.
But man, we out and see you next week.
All right, guys.